Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your host, Taco, here with Your Voice Media. And today I'm talking to Randi and JT, okay, the co-founders of this amazing, amazing music festival called the Motor City Industry and Music Fest. Now, there's so many festivals that we have in the world. I mean, I feel like I see one every week. You got the Day in Vegas one, you got Governor's Ball, all of these amazing festivals. What was the reason behind making the Motor City Industry and Music Festival? And for you in an overly saturated industry, how do you continue to push and thrive and make sure this experience is like no other?
I'll start off with that one. There to start where you were, there absolutely is a lot of different festivals. There's even a lot of the term festival in itself is becoming so saturated, right? Because more people are calling events festivals. Um, what we really wanted to do with this, which is something that no one is doing, at least here in the Midwest in our market, is we wanted to combine the different elements of entertainment shows that you already go to traditionally. So you go to concerts, you go to fashion shows, you go to car shows. Depending on the speakers that's coming to town, you even go to different educational seminars and workshops. But there isn't a mainstream grand stage event that highlights and showcases the best of all of those different industries in one. So that's really what birthed the Industry Fest concept. It's a lot of different markets, especially Detroit, where we get oversaturated with traditional stage concerts constantly. So we really wanted to create something that would stand out, not just here in our market, but even in the other markets once we take it on the road in 2022.
I love that. Now, we have a lot of A-list stars coming through this weekend. I mean, I just need to know who is coming through for the inaugural Motor City Industry and Music Festival. And, for you both, how important was it to handpick them as well? Because I'm pretty sure you both had a say-so on like who's going to appear. So how special was it to have a lot of A-listers pull up this year? And the process, how intentional were you both in choosing who performed for your first year event?
Um, the as far as hand selecting all of the speakers, really formalizing the layout of the summit and everything. That's something that Randi had spearheaded 100% on her own.
Come on,
If it
Randi.
was just me, and even though I am the husband, if it was just me, I don't think we would have had nearly half of the big wigs that that we have coming out. So I'll let her speak on that part of the production.
Mm.
Oh, thank you so much, honey. So my vision for Industry Fest was similar to kind of how you guys have introduced it as like a place where you can be educated and entertained all in one. Even and I feel like as someone that has a certain level of influence and relationships, I wanted to make sure our event stood separate from and didn't get caught up in the many festivals and events that's going on right now. And I felt like, utilizing and leveraging my relationships was something that I could do to make that happen. So one of the leads on a panel is my older brother, who happens to be a artist manager. Another person that's a lead on a panel is someone that I look at as a mentor, who happens to be in radio and the Radio Hall of Fame. On the Breakfast Club, so basically just making sure we utilize our relationships to separate ourselves from others, and not necessarily in a negative way, in the sense of like, oh, we're better than that, but no, in the sense of this is the quality that we're bringing. This is what we want. We want to make sure people are actually getting the education and getting the information from reliable sources. Angela has been in radio for well over 15 years.
Right.
Zeno manager in music, like literally in the music industry, seriously, for over 10 years. Those are people that I feel like can give people good experiences and good energy, because it's really all about the energy for real. Like anybody can come talk to you, but if they don't want to and they're not genuinely trying to help you, it's not going to work, you know?
I agree. I think that you have to just make sure that when you're having these kind of spaces, like having the right people around, and those who
Absolutely.
also see the vision as well, because if they don't really see it, then they're not going to support and motivate you to push through. So
Exactly.
I think being intentional, and I feel that's such a key buzzword in like today's society,
It is.
being intentional in things, but it's true. Like I'm very intentional with what I say. I'm intentional with the things that I pick up, the gigs that I take, who I'm chatting with, because that's going to only make me better and push me in the right direction. So I think for you both, especially you have each other to lean on. Sometimes people have just themselves. So y'all have a partnership here. Like it's a loving partnership, of course, but you also have like a nice business mindset where it's like, hey, I trust you. You trust me. We're going to work this out together. We're going to get this money together. So I think that that's also a beautiful thing as well. Now, you both said, you know, there are some impactful conversations where you'll be educated and entertained. So what are some of those impactful conversations our audience will be a part of and experience this weekend as well?
My favorite, I can't lie to you. My favorite panel this weekend is going to be Mental Health Matters.
Ooh, I love those conversations.
I intentionally made it a all male panel because November is, you know, men's mental health month. On top of that, I feel like, you know, we have the women empowerment events. We have the, oh, girls, let's get together, girl power, women are the future, women are great. Yeah, right. Woo, woo, woo. And it's just like, well, what about these guys though? Like what are that's going to happen with them? How can we help them be the best version of themselves? So that's like really the event, the panel that I'm most excited for, obviously outside of the ones that I'm a part of personally. I'm really excited to hear that. But another thing that I'm really excited for, this isn't what you asked, but I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about, we have a mental health break space. So you'll be able to, okay, in between panels, or if you want to take a step back out of a panel, you can go play Connect Four. You can go play Jenga, play cornball hole thing, whatever that's called. Get on the 360 video picture booth. Like basically, I want it to be a place where you can come, learn, if you need to have a break or breakout session, because if people are anything like me, I'm like a little squirrel. I'm all over the place, right? So sometimes you need that little reset, and I feel like we have like that reset area where it's like it's like a mental health like little safe haven where the games are and all that. I'm really excited about that. But outside of the mental health panel, I'm really excited to hear the different Detroit girls talk about their brands. I'm excited for all the panels, obviously.
No, clear. Listen, you were telling me I need to come through. Okay.
Yeah. Come on. On Saturday we have an industry talk panel with industry experts from music to acting and all of that. You know, like Detroit movies are really buzzing right now. The movie scene here is really, really hot. So we have that going on. After that, we have a digital financial freedom panel, basically teaching you about cryptocurrency and Forex and how you can do this, you know, for a low cost and still really win. We have a gentleman coming named Dr. Spillers. He invented a program called Colors. And in that program, it basically I'm not sure do you understand anything about Forex or trading?
I don't, but
okay.
I was going to ask because people are going to watch it and they're going to have their opinion. So I want you to just confirm. Is Forex legit or is it a scam? Because you see different people, it's very like divided. You got people who are saying it's a scam, don't work out. So let us know.
No, Forex is definitely 2,000% legit. The foreign exchange market is, let me give you an example. Me and you take a trip to Canada. When we take that trip to Canada, we have to take our United States money and we have to trade it over to the Canadian dollar, correct?
Yes.
That's the foreign exchange market. The foreign exchange market is you making money on that in between on what the difference of that dollar is. Banks have been doing it for years, literally decades. So no, it's not a scam. It's not fishy or anything like that. I think where people get the idea of it being scammy is from, honestly, the academy. People have been burned by the academy. The academy is actually going through a really big rebranding and marketing. They've lowered their prices. They've gotten rid of a lot of people that were just stuck on the network marketing side and not actually teaching people.
Right.
That's where a lot of the issues with Forex come from. It comes from, people joined these teams and they weren't being educated properly. But let me take the conversation back real quick. With that being said, like I said, it's a gentleman, and I love the fact he's an African-American man. His name is Dr. Spillers, and he invented a program called Colors. Let me take it back. Forex is not the easiest thing in the world to do, period. It's very much so having to watch candles, having to watch the market, having to understand the market. Colors makes it like Forex for dummies. Oh, you obviously pick what, like you might be going from the Australian dollar to the US dollar or anything like that. And Colors makes it so you literally have to match up your shapes and your colors. So if you have a red triangle, a red rectangle, and a red line, it's time to get in on that and actually buy. If you have a green triangle, a green line, and a green square or a rectangle, it's time to get on that sale. So he simplified the process of making money in Forex. His vision and our vision, the reason why I even am involved in Forex, forget the network marketing side. I've been involved in Forex for years at this point, is to really help our people come out of a certain level of poverty. I would love to go to low income areas and genuinely teach them about trading. I think that it's really unfortunate that, when we don't know something, we shy away and like, oh no, that ain't real. That's fake. It's similar to when you don't understand something. It's like, oh, that's the devil. That's not godly. It is though. It is though. This is like, I feel like getting in on Forex, it would be like if my parents got in on cell phones back in the 90s.
Right.
Understanding how to trade and make money in Forex is like, it's something that can literally be life-changing, especially if you teach it to yourself and your kids.
No, that's right. And I think that's great that you said that, because a lot of times when we as a community see things and we don't understand things and
that's
we don't
the devil. That's the devil.
Yeah, we're a little hesitant. And I think rightfully so, because the world has, done us dirty for some years at a time. So I think,
the world has played in our face. I'll definitely give you that. I want us to understand that everyone ain't the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's not the enemy. But enough of Forex, because that's not the whole festival.
That's not. But for those who are watching, y'all got the answer. So it is not a scam.
No, it's not a scam. Now, those people that's on Instagram, they're probably trying to scam. The bots on Instagram and this person help me make $8,500 in one day. Impossible. If it sounds impossible, it's impossible. Can you make money in Forex? Absolutely. Have I been successful in Forex? Absolutely. Have I made money trading in Forex? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Period.
If that sounds impossible, is more than likely impossible. But making money in exchange, not something that's impossible.
And that is just that on that. Now, to segue into more about the festival. So something major happened this week, and it happened, and I want to get both of your takes on this, being that you both are the co-founders. So Travis Scott in Astro World, unfortunately, it cost a few people their lives. And, earlier today, someone actually was even pronounced brain dead. Now, what are some precautions or extra precautions you have in place for this industry fest? And because of this incident, how do you think major festivals are going to move forward? Because recently, Tiana Taylor, someone was at her concert and the person was passed out. She stopped the concert to make sure. And a lot of celebrities now are making sure to take more of an effort to make sure that their fans are okay. So for you both, what are some efforts you both are taking, and how do you think this will impact industries moving forward and festivals?
I think the biggest thing was, from everything that I've seen from the news coverage, the stories and everything following what happened Friday night, the biggest thing for us was something that we really had already checked off the checklist, was adequate staffing, adequate security. One of the requirements from the venue is that we have an active and on standby EMS units per so many thousands of people actually down there at the facility. We've had numerous walkthroughs as far as entry points, access points for emergency crews, all of that. The biggest thing too is paying attention to your event capacity. That was from everything that I've seen on the national news, as well as being in promotions and entertainment for the past 17 years. There was, and this is only my speculation, this is only opinion, there were concerns that were pointed out in the beginning with the demand for the concert and the capacity for the location that were ignored. And that's something that we haven't, even if we wanted to ignore certain elements with that, the guidelines of the venue that we're at, they're on us day in and day out. I spoke to the fire marshal maybe 5 times in the past month. 3 of those times have been since Saturday morning, just off of, what happened in Houston. To go to the other side of your question, I think that that's something that's going to be addressed more with large festival planning moving forward, is the fact that festival capacity is general admission. And these festivals with the mega stars, the Drakes, the Travis Scotts, the Cardi B's, the Chris Browns, the Justin Biebers, these events where in a general festival capacity you have between 40 and 100,000 people. I see something in the near future happening to kind of curb those numbers, just so incidents like what happened last week would not happen in the future.
If we can also be 100% on this, I don't blame Travis. I blame the lack of his team's lack of organization. They didn't have enough security or anything like that to actually control the crowd. Like with a crowd that size, you need, beyond security, you need people that's actually controlling the crowd. And the bigger issue is, while Travis was, apologetic and, felt sorry and things like that, from clips that I've seen from his concerts in the past and from this one, he knows his audience is very aggressive, and he pushes them to that limit of aggression. Oh, push through the security, F the security. Oh, come on, get on stage. You have to control that. Like we're not going to experience anything like he experienced, because we're not going to have that type of energy at our event. On top of that, everything else my husband said, we don't have anyone that's like, yeah, F security, F all this, F all that. Like that's not the energy or the vibe that we have. So I don't see anything like that taking place, at our spot.
Love that. Now, as a couple working together, there's always pros and there's sometimes some cons. So for you two, what's a pro and a con, and how do you both push through when met with challenges?
A pro for me is I enjoy spending time with my husband. So if that we're working, cool. If that means we're at home chilling, cool. If that means we're at an event, cool. I love spending time with my husband. That's literally my best friend in the whole world. So that's definitely a pro. One of the cons, I guess, would be sometimes when you work together, it's hard to separate the two. So like, if I've annoyed him during the day in work, when we get home, it's like, all right, let's kind of decompress and, cool. Or if he's annoyed me, it's kind of like when we get home, like, all right, let's decompress, work that out and get focused on home life, because we still got to raise these kids and make sure they're doing their homework and all that good stuff as well. So I guess that's, for me, that'd probably be the only thing. Like, sometimes, working together, you view things differently sometimes, or you approach things differently sometimes, and that could be a little annoying, but that's about it.
Okay, I love that. Now, Stevie J and Faith Evans, they just announced a split this week. And they definitely were in some ways in business together, musically, whether it was on like Love and Hip Hop, etc. What advice would you give to the fallen couple now that they're splitting ways?
Be nice.
Play nice.
Yeah, be nice to each other. But I mean, no one gets married to get divorced. So it's prayers and hoping that, you know, they can be cool with each other. And if not, you know, just move on and have a good life.
Okay.
Yeah, we live a really good, really fruitful, really blessed life. But I tell her all the time, if it got to a point where the differences and the discrepancies were so bad that we're like, okay, we want to, you know, possibly call it quits. Like, let's give up the businesses. I'd rather my love is strong enough that I can say I would take the love, and you know, we could scrap the fame and the notoriety and everything else. That meant that, you know, we would complete this life still together as a couple.
You see, you got her smiling. See, we love this. We love to see this.
Like that. Yeah.
Now, speaking of love, so Will Smith has been very vocal on his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, kind of unprovoked. But he's even been on record saying that no man can make Jada happy. Now, for you two, so this is a question for you, Randi, and JT, you're gonna answer as well. What are some ways that JT makes you happy, Randi? And what are some ways that Randi makes you happy, JT?
I'll keep it PG-13.
Okay. It's still early.
Yeah, right. Right. Listen, we got a son. We know what it is.
That part. Okay. We know what. Okay.
You know what Cardi B says she like in the morning.
I know that's right.
Things that he does make me very happy is he's genuinely himself. Like JT is he's a very good person. And you don't really have, and it sucks that I feel this way, but I don't think this world has a lot of good people. Yeah. Like he doesn't have malice in his heart. He's never moving to intentionally hurt someone. Yeah. And I really, really respect that. Other things that he does make me happy. I mean, he cooks. He, you know, makes sure I'm okay. He checks in.
What's his best dish, Randi?
My favorite dish that he makes? See, he's like an off the whim cook. He gonna cook, you know, he'll throw some stuff together. But probably his Alfredo. He makes a really, really good Alfredo.
He be adding some shrimp in there.
He adds shrimp and like peas, and carrots.
Lobster. Yeah. I go all out.
That thick Alfredo sauce that makes the texture creamy. That okay.
But we either most times we make our Alfredo sauce from scratch. I taught him how to make the sauce, you know.
Okay. Period.
He do it his own way, split up and all that. So he's a very, very good cook. So that makes me happy. He just makes me happy. Like we're, you know, like every couple has like their little snips, but like JT is genuinely my best friend. So even if it is like a little snip, it's like an hour, I'm fine, or he's fine, and we're back good. Like that's my buddy.
So homie. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. JT, one thing that makes you happy with Randi is
Randi, you said only one, so let me see what's the best. Randi knows how to be everything that I need when I need it. Now you said pros and cons. So there are times when, because we're each our own individual humans, right? So like we're a dynamic unit, but we're individuals, like first and foremost. There are times to where maybe what I need in the moment and what she needs in the moment may not necessarily be the same thing. And that in certain instances, you know, that can, you know, create a little tension, a little bit of dysfunction. But we don't, I can never point to a time ever in life where I could say like, oh yeah, I didn't really talk to Randi for a few days. Like, no, Never. Our love is entirely too strong. Our bond has been too strong from the beginning. Not to bring up too much of her past, but when she was, a young wild one back in her younger days, we would have our arguments and disagreements as being club promoters together. And I'm an Aries, so if you talk to me wrong,
Hey, I'm an Aries.
Hey, 4/11, coldest day on the
Okay,
calendar.
329.
Okay, yeah. I can get in my ways, and I can go off and be in my own world for a few days. I'll come back to that person, when I feel that it's time. But with Randi, it's okay. We have our disagreement. We blow some steam off, and then we're right back to doing what we do best.
Sounds like such an in sync couple, and we love to hear it. Now, for my last question is the word gatekeeper. Now, that's such a buzzword. We hear that all the time in the industry. How do you feel about the term, one? And do you think the term gatekeeper is negative or positive?
I think we're all gatekeepers, and I think that we give some people too much power with that word, with that term. Pardon me. But I think if we work hard enough in situations, we're all gatekeepers. For example, you're the gatekeeper to your own success and your own peace. You feel what I'm saying? I'm the gatekeeper to my own peace and to my life. If that means I could start a radio station and help people, develop themselves in media talents. Yes, I'm kind of the gatekeeper of that radio station, but you still had to get that. You still had to be motivated within yourself to get that going. I think that sometimes we get caught up in this person is this and this person is that. Just do what you need to do for you. Be you. I think in the past, a lot of people that were gatekeepers used it to manipulate situations and use people and things like that. And I think that's really unfortunate that they use their power like that. But that goes to show you, I feel like we're all superheroes. Like all of us have a superpower, all of us. And you either can be a superhero or you can be a villain. And a lot of people, to me, that have been the quote unquote gatekeepers in the past have been villains. So they've kind of villainized the word. But I think that I try to take a positive approach to stuff in life. I really do. So I think that when I hear the word gatekeeper, I think of what I can do for myself, not what someone else can do for me.
And period. That's just that on that. Well, listen, thank y'all both for today. I cannot wait for people to enjoy this amazing experience and so we can have more and more of these festivals, maybe even expand. So thank y'all for chatting with me today. It's been Tyco. It's been real. Tyco, Your Voice Media. Make sure y'all go this weekend to the amazing inaugural Motor City Industry and Music Festival. JT and Randi, thank y'all so much. And I just cannot wait to see other things y'all have going on. So keep doing y'all thing.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank y'all.
Have a good one.